they're huge. And if any band can pull off the political banter and still make it relevant and not something redundant and not something that you see every day, it's probably Bad Religion. And I mean, like, they've been around since 1980, and there have been thousands, if not millions, of people that have been influenced by their music or by what they have to say. Maybe not in particular us, but I mean, we can recognize their status, and we really appreciate and admire that.
Well, I mean, politics seems to be the focal point around this band. Was there a turning point where you just guys decided that, you know, I'm not going to sing about this, I'm going to sing about kind of maybe like this?
I think, you know, even just starting the band, we had our first couple songs that were about stupid things because we were like 14, but, you know, it became very, very, you know, apparent early on that we shouldn't be writing songs about stupid crap. We should be writing songs about more relevant issues and things that were more relevant to us as individuals and, you know, the global population.
Mm-hmm. We feel politics and we feel activism in a sense, but it doesn't mean that we're in a position to be vocalizing on the subject. We can't be moralizing on people because, frankly, we're just not that educated. We're not in a position that warrants us the authority to tell people what to think or how to think or anything like that. But I mean, bands like Bad Religion, bands like Propagandhi can really bring that out in people and can actually have something to say because they've devoted a lifetime and a career to studying the subjects that, you know, we and other bands were trying to hash out from an unexperienced point of view.
Well, do you think that's a safe thing to be talking about these kinds of things? Because like a lot of, there just used to be a lot of, you know, bands talking about politics these days, which is exciting. But do you think kids get both sided views? Because it's easy to say, you know, F George Bush, but do you think a lot of kids realize why they're saying F George Bush?
Well, I think that's a big problem that we have. I mean, you see these bands are covering who the problem is, what the problem is, where the problem is, when the problem's going on, but nobody's ever addressing the issue of why, and no one's ever looking at the other side of the issue. And not that I support that, or not that it's not that we or anyone in the band supports that or supports like a right-wing kind of mentality, but it's important to know where you're coming from. Dudes like Noam Chomsky that everyone, you know, gushes over and loves, he can probably argue for the other side of his cases just as well as he can for his own side, for his own opinion. That's because he's well-read, and it's because he's educated in the topic. And you can only that only comes after time and an assload of experience in the field, or in the fields that he's studying.
Well, Arif, you're pretty well-read as well, eh? Talk about your obsession with a certain Russian author, I heard.
Oh, I don't know. A lot of people... I like Russian literature. I really like Fyodor Dostoevsky, but a lot of people do. I mean, I've read the works, and I've been fascinated by the works, and I haven't come across an author that's affected me as much as he has. But again, you know, I'm not a professor in the subject. I do my own studies, and I appreciate him, and I hold him dear, and I keep him in a, you know, a special place in my heart. And I try not to let people affect that, and I try not to let people. I don't promote him to people, and I don't push him on people. But if somebody's interested in his works or in his writings and wants to talk to me about it, I'll talk to someone about it. But I won't ever try and teach them about it.
Mm-hmm. Talk about the videos. I mean, when you're in a band, you're kind of creating imagery. That must be kind of an interesting thing, right?
No, it's a very interesting thing. It's one of the best parts of it. You know, you can make the music and then create the images that go along with the music. It's obviously an important part of the promotion of the band as well.
And it's kind of funny. I mean, you get to shoot a video and then afterwards, like, sit down and have a night and, like, you know, watch the video and, like, blaze each other and blaze yourself. And, you know, it's always funny to see yourself on screen. I'm sure you know that.
Well,
I'm sure you know.
You guys do have a good sense of humor, though, too. You talk about serious topics, but, I mean, you have a good sense of humor, but you take the band seriously, too. It's a kind of a contradiction most people don't quite understand, too, right?
Yeah, I think, like, we have this general rule amongst us all that's kind of unspoken, but take your craft seriously and don't ever take yourself too seriously. You know, because there's too many people out there, too many bands out there that take themselves too seriously, that try and act like the biggest professionals in the world when in actuality we're all just amateurs and trying to, like, look good for each other.
When you're doing a 24-hour drive across the country, it's not really fun to be in a van with a bunch of dudes that think that they're the coolest guys on the planet, you know? You have to be able to let loose and let your hair down, so to speak, and just have fun, and that's what we're doing with it. We're given opportunities that a lot of people would kill for, and a lot of people would really dream for, and if we're not making the best of it, if we're not having fun with it, there's something wrong with us.
Cool. Well, we're going to we'll get to the new video. That sound good?
Yeah, sounds
cool.
great.
Here's a little Protest the Hero. Not much. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Seriously, thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir.